Well, Daniel Serwer is a scholar at the Middle East Institute. He joins us now live from Washington to share some of his analysis. Thanks so much for joining us. You know, I remember speaking to a number of analysts in just the months after Russia launched its airstrikes, and they were saying that if Russia hadn't stepped up, Assad would have lost this war back in 2015. Do you think that's the case? And would Syria be in a better position today?
Well, I certainly think that's the case. I think it's the reason for the Russian intervention. Moscow has decided to double and triple down on its bet in favor of Bashar al-Assad.
So would Syria be better off today if Russia hadn't pitched in its support? Because some have also said that if it hadn't been for the Russians, terrorist and extremist organizations in Syria would have actually come to the fore to fill that vacuum instead.
Well, I think there would have been a much greater possibility of a politically negotiated solution had the opposition continued to make headway as it was doing in 2015. But I admit that it's anybody's guess what might have happened.
Do you think Russian support for Assad has at all stopped the advance of Daesh, as it would like to claim?
Not at all. It's not targeted Daesh. It's not hit Daesh very often. Daesh is not present in many of the areas that it bombs aggressively, and it's killing mostly civilians, and it's doing it because it wants to deliver territory, especially in Aleppo, to the Assad regime.
So what about the U.S.-Russia relationship now? As you know, the U.S. delivered an ultimatum that Russia shrugged off, saying that all negotiations will cease if Russia doesn't stop the bombardment of Aleppo. And also, why is Russia just so determined to continue this bombardment?
Russia is determined to continue the bombardment because it has no more alternatives. It has doubled down on its bet on Bashar al-Assad, and it has sealed its fate in Syria. The day there's anything like a democratic transition in Syria is the day that Moscow gets thrown out of Syria because of what it's done to the majority Sunni population there. The U.S. effort with Russia is dead. The John Kerry initiative never had a key factor behind it. The president never provided John Kerry with a plan B. And if you don't have an alternative, you're not in a good position to get a negotiated outcome.
Okay. Daniel Serwer, unfortunately, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us from Washington.